Welcome back. Largely steady for the benchmark indices. The Nifty is hovering around the 9,200 mark. So let's shift our attention to the insurance space. FY18 could just very well be the year of insurance IPOs, not just SBI Life, but in fact so many government-owned insurance companies, whether it's New India Assurance, United India Insurance, General Insurance Corporation, and so many others are looking at tapping the capital market. Let's discuss this theme in greater detail and find out what the industry dynamics are with Arijit Basu, the MD and CEO of SBI Life, which is a joint venture between SBI, BNP Paribas, Cardiff, KKR, as well as Temasek. Good morning, sir, and thanks so much for joining in. First, if you could, start off by telling us the capital raising plans of SBI Life and the timeline that you've set internally.
Good morning. As you would be aware, SBI has informed the stock exchange that they intend to divest a part of the stake of SBI Life during the current financial year. And about the timeline, it's too early to say because we have just started working and we need to get our internal financials in place and then obtain regulatory approval. So beyond this, it is very difficult to say the exact timeline that we would be looking at.
Could you tell us, is this SBI raising money? Will the money go to, and some existing investors selling their stake and raising money, or is the money going to go to the company?
The final call on this is yet to be taken, but it looks that at this moment there will be no additional capital which will go into the company. So it will be a divestment made by both the joint venture partners.
It's a 10% stake sale that you're looking at. That's what the board approval has come through, of which 8% I believe is what State Bank of India is going to sell. Could you tell us the balance 2%? Who would be the sellers there?
Yeah, so SBI has divested 10% in total, and they are exploring up to 8%. From SBI, and the balance would therefore, whatever is the number divested by SBI, the balance would be coming from BNP Paribas Cardiff.
Okay.
We have a situation where foreign partners, Mr. Basu, are actually looking at increasing their stake in insurance ventures, both life and non-life. But here you have a situation where BNP is actually looking at diluting a little bit. Could you talk about that? What conversations have you had with them?
Yes, so BNP and SBI, the relationship that we have, both the joint venture partners have, is possibly among the best in the industry. They have played a very critical role in setting up this company along with SBI. And the discussions that we've had is that they will continue to maintain that. And they are looking at a long-term relationship. They have people who work with us, and there is a lot of engagement with them. That does not change. As far as divesting a little bit, I think because they have also been part of the journey for so long, and the fact that SBI Life is doing so well and our valuations also are very high, so they feel that it could be optimal for them at this stage to divest a very small part of their stake.
So you said work has just begun for your IPO plans. The first step, of course, will be filing of the DRHP. Could you give us, an indicator, of the timeline that you've said, at least to get the first step cleared? Filing of DRHP?
Yes. So what happens in the life insurance industry is that we have our own regulator, the IRDA. So before we can even approach SEBI, we need to first get all our financials in place and get the application ready for the IRDA. As you would know, 31st March, we've just closed our previous financial year, and we will now start commencing on getting papers ready for the IRDA and then have discussions with them as to how long the process might take. And it's only thereafter that we will be approaching SEBI. So it's very difficult at this stage to give any exact timelines on when we will receive regulatory approval and be in a position to file the DRHP.
Sir, I'm sorry to press on that BNP point. Point taken that you have an excellent relationship and they've been part of the journey, as you said. But they're at 26 and they can go up to 49, right?
Right. They could have gone up to 49.
But they're coming down to 24. Hence the question. I mean, and you said growth has been great. And actually growth, I mean, I have the numbers in front of me. Terrific growth. So why is this part of their global compulsion to raise money in businesses around the world? I mean, do you see it like that, or just one? If you could respond to that, sir, please.
Yeah, no, I would view it slightly differently. So, if you understand Cardiff is a 100% owned subsidiary of BNP Paribas. So, across the world, they are operating in about 39 countries, and the JV model is very few. In fact, India is one of the very few countries where they have a JV. Everywhere else, it is either Cardiff itself with a 100% subsidiary in that country, or at least, say in China, they have a tie-up with Bank of Beijing. So they are called Bank of Beijing Cardiff. So it's only in India, this is an SBI company. And they are not even able to consolidate the financials that they have into their own balance sheet, which SBI can do. And considering the Indian ownership and control guidelines that were set in place by IRDA in 2015, this is the way that the Indian life insurance industry will operate. So having considered all these things, they have taken a considered view that while they will continue to play an important role, they will want to play an important role as a partner. And I suppose in the future they would look at retaining at least a 20% stake in the company. They do understand that the Indian situation is a little different. And therefore, while they would like to continue to support SBI Life, with whom they are very proud that this business is doing very well, but they know that since they cannot get a controlling stake, they would like to have a reasonable amount in SBI Life and continue the relationship in that manner.
Okay, so at least 20% is what they're looking at, and post the IPO, their stake would be at 24%. Just one final question, sir, from my end. The last transaction valued SBI Life at 46,000 crore. What is the current valuation that you're looking at? Has it moved up from there?
See, on valuation, it's not possible to state anything at this juncture. As you would know, in life insurance industry, there are two parts to the valuation. One which is called the valuation of the existing business or embedded value. And then the analysts and the investors give a multiple for the future value of the company depending on how well the company is doing. As far as embedded value was concerned, we had declared an embedded value of 13,000 crore rupees in August last year based on the 31st March 2016 figures. The 31st March 2017 figures are currently would be worked out, and we expect the embedded value to increase because of the huge growth that we've had. We are clocking a growth of around 40% and beating industry very significantly. But how much that will be and will depend on a lot of factors, including what is the new business margin that we will arrive at. And we expect that this will be in place in the coming few months. And thereafter, once we are able to go to the market, it will be the market and the investors and our own team arriving at a value which we hope will be good and, fairly realistic and balanced figure.
Just last few questions. What multiple would you consider fair for a business that's growing as strongly as yours? A multiple of the embedded value?
For the future, it is almost impossible to predict. Yeah. But if you see the last transaction, the multiple was at 3.54. Okay. That is a fact which we had on the last transaction. But the last transaction was not an IPO. This would be an IPO where the dynamics change, and we are advised that IPOs can have slightly better valuations than a small stake sale. Yeah. But these are very difficult to predict.
What's the split of portfolio with regards to ULIPs and term, sir?
So ULIPs and traditional. So if you look at the overall picture for SBI Life, then ULIPs are at around 45%. But if you were to look at the individual piece, this time we have had a strong ULIP growth. So in terms of policies, it is 50-50. In terms of premium, I think we could be around 70%.
In terms of how you sell your...
Fair
enough.
2016.
In terms of how you sell your policies with the SBI merger with its associate banks, do you consider that to provide you a big boost for distribution?
Yes, I understand. SBI corporate agency so far has also included the associate bank corporate agency. So it was a corporate agency for the entire group, and roughly 25% of our business was coming from the associate banks. Now with the merger, they will still continue to come to us, so there would not be any change in that respect. We in fact expect even better traction, since it will be a more disciplined and a more organized way in which we can cooperate with each other.
Mr. Basu, pleasure having you on the show today. Thanks again for joining in, and all the very best. We will slip into a short break. We'll come back and discuss market technicals with Prakash Gaba.